Hello all. Firstly, welcome to the adult section information presentation. For those that were unable to make it on the night, we have the slideshow here accompanied with voice notes for each slide just to give you more information on the content that is included throughout. The agenda for this presentation is the following. So first, the who's who in terms of who is involved in the WCC committee, and then also our coaching team. What's on, what training times and days we have at WCC for our men and women, and then also when each team will play throughout the season. Team targets for the season ahead from our men's first 11 to fourth 11, and also our women's teams. Team selection, a bit clearer policy in which we are going to implement this year going forward for all teams across the adult section from there. PITCHERO, our move from teamer to PITCHERO, just another explanation of how that is going to run. Specific kit that we would like to see our various teams playing in throughout the season. Introducing our new Equality, Diversity and Inclusion officers at WCC. Future developments to the WCC grounds and what's going to be happening at Mireside and Craiglockhart over the next few years. And then just a rundown of our various forms of communication in the club. As you can see, this is the adult committee for the club. Plenty of names that you will recognise from previous years who have remained in their roles. The new ones to highlight are the likes of our new women's first 11 captain, Sarah Hatch, who has played for us last year and has now stepped up to the captaincy role. Second 11 captain, Rory High. Rory has been a member at the club for many years now, had a very strong season last year as well, and has taken on the role of second 11 captain on top of that. Our WCC adult coaching team is made up of Ollie Hares, first of all, leading from the front as head coach of the club. Ollie has been with us for several years now, and we have seen the real benefits of having an incredible player in himself, but also high-level coach in charge of our coaching system. To accompany him, we've got Liam Naylor, who has been coaching from October for our junior groups, but will be helping Ollie with the adult sessions throughout the summer, and also playing in the first 11. And in addition, we have Jasper Davidson, who will also be helping with the adult sessions and junior teams throughout the club. Jasper is also a Scotland A player and will be playing for the first 11 as well. You can see that we have our women and girls training will be on Friday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. with half an hour afterwards as an option for those that want to do any extra individual work or group work. The coaches will be a mixture of Ollie, Liam and Jasper. This will vary throughout the year, but will still remain this specific coaching team. And then matches will most commonly be on a Sunday, but I will get to that later on in the presentation. Men's teams will be trained on a Tuesday and Thursday. This is all 1s to 4s, and this will be at 6:30 to 8:30 at Craiglockhart pitches. Again, the same coaching team will be in charge of these sessions, and matches are primarily on a Saturday for all teams. However, there will be a few Sunday fixtures this season. Training will start the week commencing Monday the 10th, so not long to go now until we get outside and ready to go. Our women's section of the club is ever growing at the moment, and we are trying to increase the variety of competitions that we're involved in order to create a kind of friendlier atmosphere for beginners to get involved, but also provide a platform for those that are looking to really push on with their cricket as well. So as you can see, we've got the women's first 11 who will take part in the Women's Premier League this year and also involved in the Scottish Cup. We have a women's development team which will be in the ESCA T16 Midweek League and also the Challenger League. On top of this, we've got the Women's Wee Bash team, which will simply be involved in the Wee Bash competition, which is something that we have entered for the last few years and has been really successful. From the men's side of things, we have the first 11 playing in the Eastern Premier League. Also the Scottish Cup and the Masterton Trophy T20 games during the week. The second 11 will be in ESCA Division 1 this year, and we're also looking to do some Masterton Trophy reverse fixtures against some of the teams that we'll be playing for our second 11. Third 11 will be taking part in the ESCA Division 5 this year. Fourth 11, once again, will be in ESCA Division 7. And then we have a men's over 50s team, which will be various matches organised on Friday evenings, T16 games, and we'll look to get kind of 3 to 4 games, hopefully through the summer, maybe more, you never know. Every year, each team will have specific targets that we want to achieve. However, we felt it was crucial that we actually identified these targets straight away before the season started, and also distributed these targets amongst the members as well. As you can see, this is for the women's 11. We have a variety of targets that you can read through here at your own pace. The main thing I think with the women's side of things is we are a growing club, especially within this section. And the main thing for us is really looking at increasing participation opportunities for our women and girls through the club. And looking at these targets, you will see that the main drive is improvement, ever trying to improve from the previous year. But also involve as many people as possible so that they can enjoy their experience playing cricket for our women's team or teams at Watsonians Cricket Club. So for the first 11, we have a real drive to get into the top 4 of the EPL. I think that is one of the main focuses for us. We believe there is statistically a certain amount of wins that if we can achieve, that will get us into that position. And then once we're within that top 4 position, then anything can happen from there with that kind of run in towards the end of the season. Cup side of things, again, we're looking to get as far as we possibly can in the Scottish Cup. We have a challenging draw by the looks of things, but anything can happen in the Scottish Cup. So we'll do our best and see how we get on this year with the strong squad that we have. Same with the Masterton. We really want to be pushing to get into the latter stages, if not the final, and win the Masterton again from here. Apart from that, I will let you read on as well and have a look at the targets that we've suggested that breaks it down slightly more game by game and is something that we look to kind of follow as we're going throughout the season. These targets may change during the season or will obviously change depending on the match situation, but this is a general idea of what we want to look to achieve this year. In terms of the second 11, we really want to get pushed back up to the championship. It's been a few years now since we were in the championship for our second 11, so to get promoted is a real driver for us. In terms of doing that, we look at focusing on winning 12 games. We feel that is going to get us right in a challenging spot to be pushed back up into the championship. Again, I will let you read on for the other specific targets that we are looking for in a kind of match-to-match basis for our second 11 with both ball and bat. And it varies depending on where we're playing, but also the situations we might be in, whether or not we're batting or bowling first. A lot of variation, but this is a general idea. For our third 11, we're keeping it nice and simple. We want to push back up to Division 4. We were unfortunately relegated last year, so this is something that we want to get ourselves back into Division 4 in order to continue to challenge all our players throughout. In terms of the actual purpose of the threes as well, we see it as a great opportunity for our juniors as this platform into progressing even more with their experience of adult cricket. And this has been a real success and led by Captain Ross Martin in making juniors feel welcome, but also experiencing the challenges that adult cricket can provide in comparison to junior cricket. For our fourth 11, we have a target of winning 50% of the matches in the season. This is something we really did focus on last year, didn't quite get towards that target, so we're going to continue to focus on that. Again, continue to provide a platform for our juniors coming through and often making their debuts in adult cricket. We want to continue to push that from that magic number of 30 juniors across all 4 teams last year. We want to keep pushing that number up every year. Target batting wise, we're looking at kind of 150 plus per game with the bat. This will bring us wins, obviously, but even if it does not, it is a target that we want to try and achieve for ourselves, and hopefully that will benefit us in the long run. And then finally, just creating that friendly and supporting atmosphere that allows players to enjoy competitive cricket, but also have that social side which cricket can bring. So this year we wanted to make the whole team selection side of things as clear as possible. And this is our first efforts here. So as you can see, this is the selection committee. Is a variety of people, but it's basically made up of, for each team, it will be head coach Ollie Hares, and then director of cricket, myself, Andrew Chalmers, accompanying the captain in selection. However, for the women's, we have the captain, head coach Ollie Hares, and women's convener Charlotte Tucker, who will be running the selection for the women's teams. To oversee the selection process, however, will be club president John Reid this year. This is a new addition to the selection committee, and John is there simply to oversee all selection and make sure selection policy that I will go on to explain is being followed thoroughly in all selections that happen throughout all the teams. John is also someone who is there to talk to if you're having any issues with this side of the club, and a total kind of impartial voice within that selection committee as well. Our selection policy this year, we've provided a number of factors that will be the reasons for any movement in teams or just in general the overall selection of our teams. Payment of subs must be made by Sunday the 30th of April. This is number one and is the only one that is prioritised above the rest. We have brought this in this year to reduce the stress, to be honest, is probably the way of putting it. At the end of season, trying to chase up and gather subs. Instead, we've brought this in so that unless you have paid your subs by 30th of April, then you will not be able to play. So that can be made in instalments, the subs. So as long as that first instalment is made by then, and then the direct debits will come out of your account, therefore after. After this, we have a list of factors, as you can see, which are in no particular order, but will all contribute to selection in some way, shape or form. We're not expecting individuals to be able to tick off every single factor here, but these are factors that will definitely help in terms of moving up the teams, but also be factors that we need to take into account when moving players up and down teams as well. So player behaviour, we're just looking for, as we would expect, we've never had issues behind this side of things, but it's something that we have to keep an eye on. Performance in matches is an obvious one. It's one of the ones that will be used for many, many years in terms of choosing teams and has to be taken into account. Performance in training, this is a great opportunity for head coach and captain and myself to see players developing and their commitment levels as well. Opportunity for all members to play regular matches. There will be weekends that we have more players than are needed for all four teams, so it is crucial that we ensure that we rotate players in to make sure everyone is getting their membership's worth as well. Balance of the team. This is going to depend on week by week. If we are in need of more bowlers or more batters within a team, then that will depend on and influence the selection. Consistency of availability and selection, this will also have to be factored in. At times, we understand that some players will not be able to play the whole season and will be missing weekends. Again, this is amateur sport, so it is completely fair enough. However, it is something that we will take into account going forward from there. And then player development, we have our WCC Academy now with many players that we are looking to push to the next stage, especially when looking at adult cricket. So we will be looking at what ways we can bring certain juniors or academy players into specific teams in order to continue to progress their development going forward. In terms of the team selection weekly timeline, this is how we're going to run it this year, and is more just so everyone knows the kind of process that goes on. So availability will be confirmed by 4 p.m. on Monday. So by that we mean that everyone who is looking to play for the following Saturday has to have confirmed that they can play by 4 p.m. on Monday, or else we will not be able to put you in a team. Names from there will be put into draft teams by myself, Andrew Chalmers, for then on the Monday evening, which then the captains will have between Monday evening and Tuesday training to look at the teams and discuss any changes that they feel may be needed. After this, teams will be posted after Tuesday training meeting. The captains will meet for a selection meeting briefly after training on a Tuesday. However, if there is no issues, then the team will have been decided and the teams will go out straight after Tuesday training from there. At that point, then it is crucial, once the teams are out, that you again accept that you are able to play. Now, we are not looking for anyone to decline at this point because they've already accepted and stated that they're available. However, we still need you just to check off that you have seen that you have been selected for that team and you know where you should be meeting and playing for the weekend. We've recently moved away from Teamer to PITCHERO, which is now our website and also the way in which we select teams and provide information out to the club. We see this as a real positive going forward and feel that PITCHERO is a much more user-friendly app than previous ones. So again, it would be advised to download the PITCHERO app on your phone and then make sure that you have notifications coming through as well in order to stay up to date with team selection, training, info, and anything else that comes up in the club. You can now see our women's 11 kit, which is made up of the women's top there in the middle, which has been ordered prior to the season, and all women that are involved have ordered their own tops. We do have a few spares for late joiners to the club, so in terms of if you're in need of a top, please talk to either myself, Andrew Chalmers, or women's convener Charlotte Tucker, and we will be able to work out what we can do in terms of tops. The trousers and top either side of the playing top are available on the club shop, which can be found when you go on the Watsonian website and go on to Grey Nichols Club Shop, which is a tab at the top of the website. This will take you to that and you will see the variety of different clothing that we have for all our members. Again, we have our Watsonians men's playing top for the first 11. We have recently moved to coloured kit, and these are the tops that we played with last year. We will remain the same again this year. However, again, the men's first 11 players have already ordered these tops. The club has ordered extra tops in case of anyone joining at a later stage to make sure that everyone is kitted out and ready for the games. In addition, we have moved to more specific cricket style trousers this year, as can be seen in the photo. Again, these were ordered pre-season and we have ordered extras in case of any late joiners to the club. From here we have the second to fourth 11 will be playing in whites clothing. You can see that there is tops here which can be found on the Grey Nichols Watsonians website club shop, but also you can wear any whites bottoms or you can also buy whites trousers that have the Watsonian crest on them, but either is okay to do. We would like to introduce now our Equality, Diversity, Inclusion Officers. This is the first time we have offered these roles out to the club, and Asha Patwari and Lynn Powell came forward to volunteer themselves as the new Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Officers, which is a fantastic step forward for the club, and we welcome them into their new role. The role of our Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Officers is to make WCC more accessible to all in a safe and inclusive environment. WCC is a relaxing and friendly club for everyone and anyone wanting to enjoy the wonderful game of cricket. At the club, we maintain a high standard of coaching facilities and enjoyment for all. We cater for everyone, including those wanting to learn or play occasionally, to those with a more competitive goal. Even if you have limited time, there will be a place for you at the club. We pride ourselves on constantly monitoring and improving our club. We do ask all members to support and respect staff and coaches at all times. We encourage every member to respect the rights of every member and to treat everyone equally and not discriminate on differences. If you feel unhappy with any decisions or actions or behaviours, we are more than willing to discuss matters with you, so please contact us immediately. Furthermore, if you have any questions or any ideas regarding the club, please contact us, as our primary objective is always to listen to our members. In order to make this possible, we have recruited 2 of our current WCC members, as previously highlighted before, and we are delighted and feel that this is a real step forward for the club into the future. In terms of the facilities at Watsonians, there are some future changes that are going to be coming in over the coming years, and we feel it's important to make sure our members know what's going on. Craig Locker is going to become the future main pitch for WCC cricket instead of Mireside. This will result in the square currently is going to be moved at Craig Locker slightly, which is going to create a much bigger field to play on, and that's where mainly our first and second 11 will play, but at times third and fourth 11s will as well in the future. On top of this, we are looking at the possibility of hybrid wickets to be put in at Craig Locker as well, and then also the Craig Locker clubhouse to be rejuvenated and possibility of a bar going in there as well. Changes for the season that will impact us this summer coming up is that the Craig Locker grass pitch will be out of action from July onwards due to the work starting on the square at Craig Locker in order to move it. This unfortunately will result in 4 to 5 games each for our third and fourth 11 that play at Craig Locker from July and August. Will have to move to play at Mireside on the artificial for the second half or those matches. And possibly training will also have to move back over to Mireside at this point. We understand this can be frustrating, and all members would definitely rather play on grass. However, we're hoping that the long-term benefits will be the main positive to take out of this whole situation. Finally, we have our various forms of communication through the club. Our club website through PITCHERO is becoming more and more popular, and also PITCHERO itself. That is going to be the main way of communication as we start to move forward. We understand we have our WhatsApp groups as well, which information comes in on a daily basis. However, over time we look to keep pushing towards PITCHERO more, and announcements and emails will come out through that. In terms of social media, we have our Twitter, Instagram, and also LinkedIn. So please do follow us as more information comes out through our social media platforms as well. Again, thanks very much for listening, and if you have any questions, please get in touch with me, Andrew Chalmers, at doc.watsoniancc@gmail.com. Thanks very much for listening.